In this video I want to describe the method in Excel to add error bars of different values to your data points. In this case I've taken some data from the scientific method lab where we measure periods as a function of length. I just write down here lengths as numbers on here because I don't want anybody to use my data to make up their lab report, so you don't know what those lengths are. Just we know that they're increasing in length and you have different periods. In fact, these are not equally spaced anyway, so you won't find anything useful out of these numbers. But that wasn't my point here. I just want some numbers and the uncertainties that I measured in the lab experimentally. Now to add the error bars, I simply have to add them to my data. So if I click on the whole chart here and do the plus sign here, I can come down and add error bars. Now notice when it does that, it's giving me error bars on here, but I don't have any X error bars, so I'm just going to select those and delete. Hit the delete key. That gets rid of them. I can then select the Y error bar, which is the one I want to adjust because that's the error or uncertainty in the period. And I come over here to error bar, and if it will let me, slide over here and select more options. Because under more options I can specify what type of value I have. Notice it was saying standard error. I don't know what a standard error is. I want to know what to display the error that I measured. So I click custom and I specify the value. In the value I have the ability to indicate a positive and a negative error value. So I can have different values for these two. In our case they're both the same. So I just click on the button over here. That's to select from the spreadsheet. And then select the sigma or uncertainty column, hit enter. And I do the same for the negative value. Now the negative value is a positive number, but it's offset in the negative direction. And then say OK, and my data points now have error bars on them. And you might say, well, I don't see the error bars. Well, that's because the error bars are fairly small compared to the size of the data points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my data. And when I get this, I can format the data series here by selecting the paint can. So I'm going to make a change to the format here. Select marker, and under marker options I can adjust this. Now I had made some adjustments before. The default size on this is 5, which is a little bit large. I'm going to go down to the small size, which is a 2. And now when you get them back on, you notice that there's some lines here. They're pretty small, but that's because relative to the value here, the uncertainty is very, very small. So these are very precisely known periods. Now to prove that this is actually a real error bar, let me come down here and I'm going to adjust my axis a little bit. I'm going to go from 0.6 to 0.7 just to see what we see here. And now you can see a little bit better. Maybe I'll even go a little bit more. Let's go 6.5. And now you can see that there are positive and negative error bars on here, which is what we'd expect. It just turned out in this case that the error bars were so small relative to the values you don't see much. But that's simply a description of how you would go about adding error bars to your plot. You can do this in anything you want to now. I might suggest, you're going to be doing comparison versus different parameters for the length parameter. If you just make that change in that column over here, then with different values you can do it without having to recreate the error bars every single time. But in the end, it's not that difficult of a task to add the error bars in.